A viewer asked me why Dillon always references himself in third person and why sometimes I like to write about myself in third person. It's because most of the time it gives me the shift in perspective that I need in order to solve my problems, feel better about a situation, or just clear my mind in general. And it comes from this book that I read called Mind Works. Now, this wasn't the catalyst for Dillon's weight loss journey, but it still is one of the catalysts for who Dillon is today. This story I'm about to read was kind of the motivation for me to start, doing this whole third person thing. It's a little weird because, not a lot of people do it. But a lot of people might do it after they watch this video and after they hear this story. I was in my 20s and home visiting my parents. My dad's back was in bad shape, so my mom made an appointment for him with a chiropractor. My dad was a farmer, a strong bear of a man with an amazing tolerance for pain. If he was going to the doctor, it was pretty bad. We lived in the country, 20 minutes outside of town, and I was to drive him. We left our house, and my dad sat next to me in the passenger seat. I drove over the railroad tracks at the intersection, and I could see him wincing in pain as we went over the bumps. It didn't feel good to me, watching him like that. It was a two-lane country road most of the way into town. Traffic was busy enough that there weren't many opportunities to pass. I normally drove that road about 65 miles per hour when I could, and I hated drivers who slowed things down. I hadn't gotten up to 60 when our car went over a small bump in the country road. My dad, in a hushed, breathy voice of pain, said, "Please, slow down." I hadn't realized that he was that sensitive to the movement of the car. My mood changed as I realized this wasn't going to be a casual drive to town. I paid closer attention to the road and kept a cautious eye on how he was doing as we drove. We hit another bump in the road. He winced again. I slowed some more. With each bump, I slowed down even more. In a short time, I was driving just over 40 miles an hour. Soon, there were 4 cars, and then 6, lined up close behind me. I always hated driving behind slow drivers. Like any normal 20-year-old, I had a penchant for speed. When I was behind a slow driver, I swore about how stupid they were to drive so slowly. Trapped behind them, I felt they must have had some personal agenda against me. Whether it was my impatient mindset or their stupidity, either way, I was quick to get frustrated by a driver going only the speed limit. As I drove with my dad in the car, I felt I could hear the voices of the other drivers in my head, screaming with the same attitude I had so many times. "You stupid freaking idiot. What the hell is the matter with you? Speed up, you moron." I could imagine them yelling at me in their heads, or possibly even out loud. I was now the stupid freaking idiot that I had so often yelled at. Now, after I read that story, that's where I kind of got my snowflake analogy from, When you zoom out, you can actually see more. And thinking in third person allows you to accomplish what this guy accomplished by driving his dad to the doctor, In that moment, he looked at his past memories in third person and realized that all those slow cars in front of him that he always swore were stupid, that he always swore were morons for driving slow, maybe they're just driving their dad to the doctor, Not everything is what you seem. I told somebody yesterday at work, the worst conclusions are often the quickest ones. Somebody does something and you get all reactive, you get mad. It's probably not the best conclusion for that scenario. It's probably not the best reaction. And honestly, I do my very best to not even be a reactive individual. If that makes sense. Somebody says something mean to Dillon, if something bad happens to Dillon, I don't immediately come to a conclusion, come to a thought. I don't immediately say anything. A lot of times, I'll just think. Or sometimes, try this. If somebody ever says something mean to you, or something diabolical, just stare them directly in the eyes and ask them to repeat it. Because a lot of times, when they said that mean thing, it was a reaction. So when you ask them to say it again and repeat themselves, they now have to think about what they just said. And when they think about what they just said, oftentimes they will come to the conclusion that it was not a very nice thing, that they should not have said that. And either A, they repeat it again, however, the confidence in their sentence is dwindled down, and you can tell that they did not feel good repeating it. Or, number 2, they don't repeat it at all, and they realize that they're just being an asshole. So if you are somebody, so I'm not somebody who likes to read, but I am somebody who likes to learn. And in doing so, I would recommend this book, because it'll help teach you how to learn. But that's all I got for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow, all right?